What's going on today, guys? Just dropped the kids off at school, so the rest of the day is mine. Today I want to talk about how to make a nice shallow depth of field for video using just your phone camera. I got a couple of really cool tricks I've learned along the way, but first I'm going to hit the gym, grab a nice cup of coffee, and we'll get right into it. Alright, so I'm back. I got my coffee, took a shower, ready to go, and I'm ready to talk to you guys about that shallow depth of field using just my cell phone camera. So all those shots were just taken with just my cell phone camera, and I used a couple of cool tricks to give it that look of the shallow depth of field you would get with any ordinary mirrorless or DSLR camera. The number one thing you want to do when you're thinking about trying to create a shallow depth of field or really filming anything using your phone is you're going to want to locate your best camera on your phone, which is usually your rear facing camera. I don't know a phone that I've ever used yet that the front facing camera is better than the rear facing camera. The inconvenience about filming yourself using the rear facing camera is that you can't see yourself while you're doing it. So my suggestion for that is to use a tripod. I like to use one of these flexible tripods. You can grab them on Amazon really cheap, about 20 bucks. I'll throw one in the description. But if you use one of these flexible tripods, you can set it up, whatever you're going to be focused on. Use an object that's the same height as that, pull your focus on that object, and then go ahead, hit record, and replace that object with you, start your talking, or whatever you're going to be doing. That's going to be your best bet to grab manual focus using the best camera that's on that phone. Once you've set up your shot, you've got your rear-facing camera ready to go, what you're going to want to do is switch over to your manual video settings. Now, I talked about this in a video I did a couple weeks ago about how to shoot better with your phone. So you're always going to want to shoot in your manual settings if you're going to want to shoot like a pro with your phone. And the manual settings are going to allow you to pull focus or set your focus. I'll show you that on my phone real quick, and we'll move on. So this is where your manual focus settings are located. And you're going to adjust the manual setting here. And let's move on. All right. Real quick, I just wanted to take a second to say, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It helps me out a lot. And if you're enjoying the content and getting some use out of it, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification to see when my new videos drop weekly with some new tips and tricks on how to make you a better videographer. But let's get back into talking about shallow depth of field. So now that you have that, you're going to have focus on the object or the subject. You have to decide, do I want the background behind the subject out of focus or the foreground in front of the subject out of focus? It's really easy to make an out of focus foreground element. I can show you right now. My camera's focused on my face. If I put my hand close to the camera, it's automatically going to be way out of focus. So it's real simple that I've got this focus field, and it's going to work the same on your phone. With the shot of me doing the kickboxing, you'll notice that I chose to use the foreground element in focus, which was my jump rope. Not necessarily what you're focusing on in movement, but it gives it a cool look, having something else in focus and just having like kind of me kickboxing there in the background out of focus. It's like the focus is on me, but I like the stylistic look of keeping me out of focus while I'm doing something and having a nice crisp foreground element. That's kind of a cool look, and it really gives that depth to your cell phone shot. I did something similar to that a couple weeks ago while I was roasting coffee. I'll pop that up right now. So another thing that's good is if you do camera movement in post. So you get that foreground element in focus, you have your background element out of focus doing something. And what I like to do is crop in, and then you start in front of the foreground element more and pan so that the foreground element comes off of the screen some. And it gives it that really nice look where it's almost like you're coming from behind an object that's in focus to reveal something going on behind it. It's really cinematic, as you saw in that last shot. So once you've nailed down getting the focus blurred behind you, or getting you out of focus with something in the foreground, or however you want to play that, just keep in mind that number one thing is using that manual focus, focusing on the specific thing you want focused, playing with what you do want in focus in it. But another cool thing to add the depth feel to your video is going to be to light it differently. So if you give it a certain tone of light on your foreground and a different tone of light on your background, or even just keep the background shadowed, it's going to give you that depth of field feel. Like you can really tell that there's a distance between the object of focus and whatever you want to be given that depth or feel like it's far behind. So a couple cool tricks and tips that I'm giving you today. I'm hoping you're getting a lot of use out of it. If so, again, hit that bell notification, because weekly I'm putting out new videos for this sort of thing, and you'll want to be notified for it. If you're watching this before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas and enjoy the time with the family. And if you're not with your family, video chat with them, play with this depth of field that we've been talking about, and impress them a little bit with your video chat. And if you're watching this after Christmas, well, have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the other side in 2021. See you next time. I'm going to keep grinding here at Eddie Studios.